just like going crazy.
Sure. So, okay. So is everything turned on?
Yes.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll do one dog at a time. We'll set up over here, because in case people come by, you get your step aside, and it'll be less traffic. We usually train over there where we were standing, but there's more going on over there. So we'll kind of ease you to that, okay? So we'll go over here. What's his number been so far with what you've been doing?
Well, I have him on Facebook.
Trying to kill the dog?
Oh, yesterday I did. So I watched your other video.
Oh, sure.
So then yesterday I saw how to find his setting.
Sure.
And I was doing how you were doing, he was not as fast setting.
Okay.
And then when I got to the computer.
You maybe could tell us if the collar's tight enough or if it's on properly.
How's he with people around his neck?
He's
no,
good.
he's fine.
He's a friendly dog.
Yeah, he won't hurt you. He just doesn't.
So this is like, I would maybe go a notch or two more. No. Yeah.
Sit.
You don't want to get like these.
Hey.
Right.
Sure.
Well, I'm kind of just more like our phone call on your website.
Oh yeah?
I'm like, oh my God, and I forgot my husband chimed in and my son was there. I'm like, I'm so embarrassed.
You're fine.
So this isn't like choking him?
No. It's fine. If you feel like he's choking, it's probably snug enough. That's probably the funniest consult I've had in a while.
I completely forgot that you said you were recording.
No, you're fine. So, we'll start off with Mack first, okay? And then, I'm sorry, what's this guy's name?
Diesel.
Diesel, okay. And then this is Brianna, Enrique.
Hi.
They're my camera crew / junior trainers. They're learning how to do all this stuff. Let's go ahead. What kind of flat collars? Is that a snap buckle? Right?
Yeah.
So we'll keep on the easy walk for now, but we'll see how he does, because harnesses promote pulling, so it can counter e-collar, because e-collar is saying don't pull and the harness is saying pull. Okay?
I could flip it so it's on his back.
No, you want to keep it on the front. Yeah. Any questions before we get started? Nope?
He threw up twice in the car, so we'll see
Oh, he
how
knows. He's ready.
He's not a car dog.
Oh, okay. He gets car sick?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
noticing
Every time
that.
I've taken him, throws up.
Okay. When you put him in the car, is he resistant at all, or is he
He's so
salivating?
excited to get in.
Okay. He just gets motion sickness?
Yeah. Well, when I'm in my car, I put him in the front seat with me. She has leather seats, so she doesn't want his claw marks everywhere.
Sure.
But in the front seat, he's fine.
Okay.
In the back seat, he throws up.
You can try checking with your vet. I'm not sure if they make Dramamine for dogs. I feel like I've had clients in the past they have something that they give them that can help with motion sickness. I know one client, they gave the dog anti-anxiety meds and the dog would just pass out. So for like long treks, it's fine. Obviously, you wouldn't do that for training because he'd just be sleepy the whole time.
Yeah.
But that's something else you could try. Okay? Oh, good bag. Any questions? Do you have any questions about before you get started?
No, it was just the e-collar thing.
Okay.
So should I turn this down?
So what we're gonna do is let's go down to 10 or 15. Let's go to 15. So, and then go ahead and tap. So you can see that little twitch in his head, right?
Yeah.
Can you see that? Give a couple taps.
His ear?
Yeah.
Yep.
So go ahead and go to 20. Tap. 25.
Don't let him eat the grass now.
Tap.
He'll throw up
Hey.
again.
Tap. 30. Tap.
This is how I ended up with him
Tap.
yesterday.
Yep. Tap. Which is correct. 35. Tap. 40. Tap. Yeah, I can see the big contraction. Tap. So you see nothing, right? 45. Tap. 50. Tap. 55. Tap. 65. That's why you got the big boy collar. Tap. 70. tap,
Oh,
tap,
oh,
right there.
all right.
All right,
Oh.
there you go.
70.
For now,
Okay.
it might change. Okay,
That's what I had him on with his walk.
go and give him another tap here. No, wait, tap, tap. 75. All right. Well, actually, I think you're okay. You're okay. There we go. So you can see the progression, the contraction, and eventually what we're looking for is a number that got him to shift gears. So he just kept sniffing the ground, right? Sniff, 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 sniff. Finally, you hit 70. He was like backed up and then settled. So that's what tells me that 70 is the appropriate number for now. It might go lower. It might stay static. It might go a little higher. Every dog's different. But in the beginning, you're doing this to figure out what's going to be the best number to work at, okay? Because if you start training and you're at 10, you're going to be stuck in that stage of training for a long time because you're not really teaching anything. Okay, so the shift in behavior is telling me that this 70 for now is what's getting his attention and is concerning enough for him to change, for him to shift gears and settle. Okay? Questions about that? So don't be surprised that it's 70. Pitties are very tough. Okay? And not all pitties are this high. Some of them are, they're sensitive and lower number. But that's why we do gradual. And he's not yelping or anything like that. If we work with him and we find him yelping, that's a sign for us that now he's understanding we need to go down lower. Okay, so I'm going to coach you through all that stuff. So we're going to start with the leash walking exercise today, which is the heel command. What side do you want Mack to walk on?
You said to keep both dogs on the same side, right?
It's, in my opinion, easiest.
Then, yeah,
You
the
can
right.
do both. You can do one on one side, one on the other. You'll have to learn how to, I can teach you, but it's a little bit,
Right side.
Okay.
He's already on the right.
Okay, so I'm going to have you step over there on the sidewalk.
Okay.
All right, and what you're going to do is you're going to give a little bit more slack. Give about a foot. There you go, about that's good, okay? And since we want Mack on the right side, what you're going to do is, like right now you see he's already ahead, right? Is when Mack gets ahead of you, you're going to make a 180 pivot straight to your left, and you're going to tap as you walk, okay, in this direction until Mack comes to your right side. If Mack pulls ahead, you're going to 180 to your left, tapping that button as you move for Mack to come here. You're going to keep repeating that, okay? If Mack goes to your left side, you're going to keep moving, pull your leash as you're tapping to bring him around, and then once he's there, you're going to relax. But you got to keep moving, okay? Questions? All right, so go ahead and relax your arms here, like this, good. And have a good hold of the leash, that's good. Make a left turn, tap, tap, good, that's fine. Left turn, tap, tap, forward. You might have to dip it, we'll see. Keep going, keep going. Relax, left turn, tap, good. Relax. Keep forward. I'm gonna let this slide for now. Left turn, tap. Left turn, tap, tap. Good. Keep forward, good. Relax, good. Keep forward. Left turn, tap, tap. Pull to your left, tap, tap. Relax, good. Keep forward, keep forward, keep forward, keep forward. Good, good. Slow. Slow. Forward. Good. Pull to your left. Tap. Tap. Pull, pull, pull. Pull. Pull, tap. Good. Forward. Hug out to the right here. Forward, tap. 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 Good. There you go. Forward, tap. Forward. Tap. Good. Back on the sidewalk. Tap. Good. Forward. Good. Relax. Good. Pull to your right. Tap. Good. Relax. Good. Left turn. Tap. Forward. Pull to your left. Tap. tap. Good, relax. Good. Keep forward. Speed up a little. There you go. Tap, 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 tap forward. There he is. Good. Relax. Good. Left turn. Tap. Good. Tap forward. Good. Keep forward. Good. Slow. Tap forward. Tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, tap, forward, forward, tap, tap. Tap, 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 forward, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. Good. You got it. Good. And relax. Slow turn. Good. Nothing there. Pull to your right, tap. Let's go ahead and bump it. You're at what now?
70.
Let's go to 75. Good. Good. And then relax. Get slack. Right. Left turn. Tap. Tap. Good. There you go. Good.
Check my
Yep,
shoes.
tap forward. All clear. Good, slow turn. Good. Yep. There you go. Go ahead and pick it up. Go fast. Slow. Left turn. Tap. Tap. Forward. Tap. There you go. Good. Slow turn. Good. Forward. Yep. Tap. Good. Relax. Left turn. Tap. 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 Good. Relax. Turn. Tap. Good. Give slack. Left turn. Tap. Tap. Forward. Good. Yep. Good. You're fine. Yep, you're good. Slow turn. Slow turn. I got, there you go. To your left. Tap. Tap, tap forward. Tap. Good. Relax. Hold on. Left turn. Tap. Tap, tap. Good. Good. We're getting to you too. Good. Slow turn. Good. Keep forward. Walk slow. Keep forward. Walk slow. Yep, keep going. Keep moving. Keep moving. Slower. And stop. Okay. So he's like 70, 60% right now. Okay. Where should he have stopped?
Next to me.
Correct. And he went a little ahead, right? So that's why I was having you slow down. And he was doing good with slowing down next to you. But then at some point when you stopped, he just kept going. So now when we do that, I want you to get in the habit of, when he gets ahead of you, to then turn. Even though I may have instructed you to stop, you're going to correct it, okay? For the rest of the class, and then like just on a regular walk when you're training at home, you always want to keep them here as much as possible, okay? Question so far. Is this making sense? Okay. Is it easy so far?
We had a 7.
Right? Press the button, find the number, press the button, right? So, do you know why I'm having you go the opposite way?
But you give him attention instead of yanking him back.
Correct. You watch videos. Good. Well, that's good because it gives you a baseline, but that is correct. So what he's learning right now is that when he gets this, the contraction happens, he doesn't like it. He turns around and he sees it going the opposite way. So then he catches up and then it disappears. So we're teaching him, whenever this goes off, it's communicating to you that you're doing something incorrect, that you're not where you're supposed to be, but as long as you're within this spot, there's nothing, okay? So then he learns to gravitate here. That's why we have to have a consistent side. Like either he could be right and him left, or both from the right, it doesn't matter, but it has to be consistent so that when he feels the remote, he knows where to go. Otherwise, if you're interchanging sides, it gets confusing, okay? I thought he was in the cross. Questions so far? Go ahead and give him some slack. That's good. And go ahead and move forward, back to the sidewalk. Yep. Forward, cap. Forward, forward. Yep, pull, cap. Try grabbing a little higher. There you go. Cap. Good, and relax. Good, and slack. There you go. Slow. Slow turn. Good. Yep. That's fine. Good. And relax. Good. Go ahead and pick up your speed. And slow. Good. Slow. Yep. Forward. You got this. Slow turn. Good. Forward. And slow. Slow stop. Okay, just going to short leash a bit. And then relax. Keep it short leash. Okay, good. Right. So you see how you start to get, because of the dog's energy, right? So thinking in advance, I had you stop because it's easier to control when you're stationary. And then right when I saw him escalate, no. Right? And then he pulled back, and then he decided to sit down. Right? So he's going, okay, I'm going to just be passive while this energy goes by. Now that was easier because we're further away. I just want you to remember that. I don't want you to think like, oh, this is amazing, and then just have dogs go in front of you, because that's going to be totally different, right? And we might have an example here. So it's easiest in the beginning when you're training to step aside and allow these things to happen, as opposed to trying to force your way around it. Okay? And there's going to be times where you might have to do that, and it's kind of just going with what you feel is best in the moment. So if I'm walking in the path and there's no way I can avoid the dog, then I shorten my leash and I'm stuck against this wall and watch it move, right? Or you can even keep stationary, but I have it short and it just let this person swing by, okay? Until you progress to the point where it's not a problem, okay? But when you take up the slack and you shorten it, you're giving yourself more leverage. The more leash, the more leverage he has. The less leash, the more leverage you have, okay? So you grab closer, so even if he tried to pull, he doesn't have much. Exactly, you can stop him right away. And now you have this tool that when it's at the appropriate number, will just de-escalate it. Ideally, just like that. Okay? Questions? Yeah. Right. The reason why we tap there is because he's shitting here. They're just walking around, right? So if it was a dog, I'd give more space because that's going to be more enticing. But if it's a human, I'm just telling him, don't bother with him. Like, I don't care if he does this, but I don't want this. Okay? Questions? All right, so we're going to give slack again. We're going to move forward. Good. Now slow. Turn left. Tap. Forward, pull to your left, good. Tap forward, tap, 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 forward, forward, tap, 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 tap. Left turn, tap, 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 tap. Tap forward, tap forward, tap forward, good, right there. It looks like he wants to go back to tap. Go here, okay? You know why that's happening? Frustrated. Okay. So one, don't play with him.
Freya, you're not helping, Freya.
Yes. Okay. I know it's like you're trying to praise him, but he's already getting kind of edgy because of so much discipline. Okay. So now he's getting frustrated, and he's the way they express this to their mouth. So you get nipping behavior. Okay. But then if you're enticing him or playing with them, it's making him even more playful, and that's going to counteract what you're trying to achieve. Okay. So the more pressure we put on him, the more frustrated he's going to get, okay? just keep moving. Okay. Now we do keep an eye on it because we don't want them to escalate. Okay. I'm not saying it's gonna make your dog aggressive, but if you piss someone off, like anybody can be aggressive, right? So you're just trying to be neutral and like we're just moving, right? It looked like he was trying to go. What's this guy's name? Diesel. He's trying to go to Diesel, right? So we're gonna do a couple more, and then we're gonna use Diesel as a distraction so that he can walk past Diesel with no issue. Okay? Because do they have attachment issues? Because he's like crying.
No, he just tries but can't run around his heart.
Oh, okay. All right. So
He doesn't like being held still.
okay. All right. We'll change that.
Look at that.
Questions?
No.
All right. So go ahead and do a little bit, and then we're gonna try bringing Diesel in. Okay. And what's our number now?
76.
That's fine. Let's go down to 65.
He just like he likes running.
You're okay. Have you go that way. Tap forward. Tap. Tap. Good. Tap forward. Tap. Tap. Good. Keep forward. Slow turn. Want to go back to the sidewalk? Good. Turn. Tap. 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 Forward. Good. Slow turn. Can we bring these up closer? Keep forward. Let's bring them like here. We're going to use them for a distraction. Tap forward, good. Let's try going down to 45. Good. Slow turn. Good. So now we got a distraction here. Good. Keep forward, keep forward. Forward tap. Yep, forward tap. Tap, forward tap. Good. Good. Slow turn. Good. 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 Thought about it. Slow turn again. There you go. Now walk slower. Forward, slower. Slower, stop. There we go. Good. Okay. We're going to keep them there. And could I just have you go back and forth a couple times with Diesel? Tap, 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 tap. Let's go ahead and bump it. We'll step aside as well. There's a stroller coming. Yep. Tap, tap. There you go. What's your number? 50. Okay. Oh, we got a distraction here. Go to shorten.
Hey, let's go, bud.
Going to go to 65.
All right, Katie. Come on, Katie.
Tap, tap. Right there. Good. Okay. Let's try with Diesel. Tap. Good. And then back this way, please. Good. Okay. So, do you know why I had you tap right when she came out with Diesel? Tap. But how did he look? It was quick, right? Like it was a really quick shift. So I didn't really mind that he looked at Diesel. I minded how fast he looked at Diesel when Diesel moved. Because that quickness very easily leads to getting up, okay? So here, we're establishing the foundation, right? It's not about words, not by saying heel or sit or anything like that. It's expecting it to happen. And the way that we're using the remote is what is actually allowing us to teach that, okay? So it's not as easy as slapping the collar on and just zapping the dog. There's stuff that we're doing, like the whole back and forth thing is teaching Mack here to pay more attention to you, because if he's not, there's consequence. And now that we've got his attention and he's able to settle and he's going from this, where everything's an option, to this, because you're the only option right now. Paying attention to you is the only thing that grants him safety from the collar. Give a tap, pull up, tap, 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 yep. I grab a little bit higher, tap, tap, lightly pull up, tap, tap, right there. And almost, tap again, tap. Try scooting next to him, there you go, right there, and relax. Good, right? So there, he's laying down, which isn't a bad thing, but the reason why I had you tap him into the sit is because it's easier to keep him under control from a sitting position, because you're closer to the front of the clip. But if he's laying down, you have to give more slack. So then if he decides tap, 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 pull out to your right a little bit, tap, right there.
Did you see that?
There you go, good, and relax, good. Is that he has more length to lunge. So keeping him in a seated position allows for you to remove more options to give you more control, okay? Also, you're being more strict. I understand that he's tired. I understand he just wants to relax, but I didn't give him permission, okay? Dogs are very strict. They're very black and white, okay? So people tend to feel bad because they're like, but Jesse, the dog's hot, he just wants to rest. I'm like, I understand that. But the dog doesn't see it as, oh, you understand I'm tired, so you're giving me this exception. The dog just thinks, I chose to do this and I could. So then if I choose to lunge at a dog, why can't I do that? Tap, right? There you go. Does this make sense? Okay, so it's very black and white. When you're walking, and we'll name this, it won't happen this week, it'll be next class. We'll put a title on this. But when you're in walking mode, it's very strict. Okay? Good, that's fine. You're doing a structured activity. Okay, for most people it's just being pulled or the dog doing whatever they want, right? For me, it's when I give this cue, we're moving, you're here, you ignore everything else. When I stop, you put your butt down, and then when I say break, then you can go do what you want to do. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's like kids. Like, you have to put rules on them. You can play during these times, you can't play during these times, you gotta do your chores, you gotta do your homework, blah, blah, blah. Okay? So right now, he's in working mode. So with dogs, there's no in the middle. It's either he's under control or he's not. People usually go with, I just don't want the dog to pull that much. And I go, no. It's either the dog's pulling or they're not pulling, right? So here, when you're going from point A to point B, you want the control. And then once you get there, if you decide, hey, you've been a good boy, I'm going to give you freedom, then he's more than welcome to have that when you give it to him. Okay? Questions? How you feeling?
Good.
Good? You like e-collar?
Yes, a lot.
You would have been all over the dogs walking
Like,
past
you would have
him.
had to have been helping me hold him back.
Sure.
Yeah.
So the reason why we're not having issues with the dogs is because we're teaching him what he's supposed to be doing. Because before there was no structure. Nobody said what he couldn't do and what he was supposed to do. So then he's like, well, hell, if you're not going to give me any options, then I'm going to make those options myself, right? Which, because he's a dog, aren't going to be to our benefit. They're going to be to his, okay? So instead of going, hey, let's find dogs and let him be a jerk and then punish him, it was like, no. Give him some discipline, teach him what he's supposed to do, and then see what happens. And some dogs he was better, other dogs he needed to be addressed. It's normal. And eventually it becomes, you just step aside, they pass, no biggie, then we go, okay? And if you do enough practice, I would think with this guy and his personality, what I've seen so far, is you can also walk past them. But you have to build to that. What you're getting him used to now is just seeing dogs and not having to do anything with them. Okay, because right now he's still stuck on like, oh, who are you, right? Once he's done this enough where he's like, yeah, dogs can walk past, I don't have to pull or lunge at them, then you can graduate to walking past dogs. Does that make sense? Questions? Mom, want to give it a try?
Him or him?
Wait, is he training too?
No.
You set the extra half. I don't know. In the video call,
We're
you said
mainly here for him.
Okay, so
But
In the
suggested
video call,
we
you said that we
him.
bring both. because
I
of how they
gotcha.
were.
I gotcha. So what we'll do is, what are you gonna walk? So if you're gonna walk them together, right? It would be, you don't have to do e-collar with him.
Yeah, I can handle it.
But if let's say Emily, right?
Yeah.
If Emily's trying to walk both dogs together, it's going to be difficult to have one under control. And I know he's not that bad, right? Like you said, like he walks well. But if he's deviating even a little bit, it's going to make him want to deviate as well. Because he's like, well, Diesel's doing it. Why can't I do it? There's going to be inconsistency, okay? At minimum, what I would just do is get a prong, and that would allow you to have manual control and make things a lot easier for incorporating them together, okay? So if you want to do that, what I would do is we'll just do an hour today. We'll focus on Diesel. The next time I see you, you can have them, then we'll do the hour and a half. Does that make sense? Okay? Because walking them on this together is not going to
We
be,
have a prong with us.
oh, do you?
It's not the, you told us that the prong with the pointy ends is best, but we don't have the pointy ends.
We have the flat one.
May I see it? Let me have you go ahead and back and forth with Mack here.
I had that for my previous dog.
So this one is probably a size too big. I mean, you can use this.
I could take some wings out.
Yeah, but you see the size of these prongs? This is like for a Mastiff.
I had a Bernese Mountain Dog. She was pretty large.
Yeah. So this is good for Bernie's Mountain Dog.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is that an appropriate fitted collar would run you about $25 max. You got a dog behind you. Yeah. Good. To get the most out of it. Okay?
Smaller.
Yeah, I'll send you a link. Also with the appropriate size for you. Okay? But they're not expensive.
For him.
For Diesel. Okay? Good. And forward. And what's our number now? Yep. Slow turn. Good.
Right.
Forward, calf, good. So right there. So you see how he starts to cut ahead of you, right? Do you know what your habit is? Not the kicking him. The kicking, I don't care. Something else. Nope. Pulling back. You're doing this. Okay? So when he cuts ahead of you, I would just keep your momentum forward. I don't care if you do this. Okay, we're gonna fix that. But this, you wanna get rid of. Because pulling back means pull forward for him. So then you're gonna have conflicting messages. So remote's gonna say don't pull, but leash is gonna say pull, and dogs will always listen to leash. Okay? And this is how you can unintentionally untrain your dog. Because people, the dog's doing good, but then they fall back on old habits. And the next thing you know, they're like, Jesse, the dog's pulling again. And I'll look at them, and it's because they're doing that motion. Okay? So, forward. Yeah, attention.
It's just for attention?
No, he's giving attention. Because now, whenever he's not with Emily, there's consequence. Slow turn. There's consequence. So it's good. See how he looks at him right there? Because he's learning that when he's not tap. Just keep forward. Tap. So forward. Careful runner. Forward. It's the mouthing. He's mouthing. He's nipping at her jacket. It's frustrating. Good. Slow turn. Tap forward. Slow to stop.
Hold on. What's this?
Tap for the sit. Light pull up. Tap. You guys can move. Good, relax. There you go. And then forward. There you go. Slow. Slower. Stop. There. Light pull up. Tap. As you pull up, tap. And relax. There you go. Good. So right there, that's what he was supposed to do before. When I said he was like 70% in tune to you, it's because when you were stopping, he still kept overshooting. So, do you know why I'm having you slow down? But not so much to make him learn, but you're close. Close-er.
I can't hear your answers. So just pay attention to me and do what I do.
Yes. Okay. Super close. So, when you're walking with Mack, if you just walk and he's perfect, and then you stop, he's always gonna go. It's too abrupt. Okay. You drive, right?
Yeah.
What do you do before you stop?
Slow down.
What do you do before you?
Gradually
Yeah.
stop.
And what do you do before you turn?
Gradually slow down.
Yep. Same thing for the dog. So it's just like driving a car. You have to communicate to those around you to tell them what you're doing. Otherwise, collision. Same thing for the dogs. So you know when you're going to stop. You know when you're going to turn. So if it's too abrupt, he's not going to catch it. Go ahead. Hot.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
It's hot. Yeah.
I know earlier I had my coat on and now I'm like this. Rigo's looking for heat.
All in the same directions wherever you go.
There you go.
There you go. So hurry up.
You're okay. There you go. I'm going to slow to stop there. Yep, there you go. Good. And then we don't do anything there because he stopped. He sat down on his own, right? So we don't touch anything. So we're going to get more in depth with this with the next class. But for this week, at minimum, whenever you stop or turn, you want to slow down. So in the beginning, when I saw Mack was doing well with giving you some attention, I kept saying slow turn, right? Because the abrupt turns like this are only when he's not paying attention because he's not focused anyways, right? So there's no need to cue to him what we're doing, right? However, if he's doing well with walking with me, I want to slow down to see, are you going to slow down as well? If he does, I go this slower. Does he do it? To the stop. So he's able to stop with you, okay? If you slow down and Mack's not paying attention, what is he going to do? And then what are you going to do? And yes, right? Forever, okay? Whenever you see that happen, because it's very easy to get in the habit of just tapping to get the dog to come back. Yep. Keep it, so when you pull up, keep it static and then just keep tapping. Yep, like that, and relax. Yep. There you go, and relax. Good. So like, let's say in 2 months, Mack is doing really good, and you stop and he were to forge ahead because he got distracted for whatever reason, you would just turn and tap, okay? It becomes less and less and less and less over the course of time, but it's always an effect. Because then what happens is people go, well, the dog's good 99% of the time, so they let it slide, but then it happens again, and then again, and then again. Next thing you know, the dog's all over this, okay? So he's a little kid, 3 to 4-year-old child, so you have to make him do what you want him to do always, okay? It just gets easier and less effort on your part to get him to do so, okay? Questions? So when you come to a stop, Mack is supposed to automatically sit. If he doesn't do so, you just lightly pull up, tap, he puts his butt down, I relax, we're good, okay? So while you're stationary, this entire time his butt should be there, right? And if you look at him, he's been staring at you this whole time, okay? He's like, oh, I didn't know mom was here at the other end of the leash, right? Because he's always so stuck in his own world. This is not realistic. this will not be permanent. Eventually he'll learn that he can observe the environment and enjoy it, but just be mindful of you. Okay, so dogs have a wider peripheral range than we do, so he can still see what you're doing even though he's looking this way. Okay, but because it's so much discipline and it's so strict, right now he's completely focused on you. Okay, but don't worry about it in the long run. Questions? You want to try?
With him? Sure. I did. She was pointing out a Bernese mountain dog in the car.
Oh, really?
I miss my girl. Hold on.
So go ahead and, did you watch the videos as well?
No.
No, I didn't.
I didn't show
I watched some of your training videos. Which
Okay,
button is
the bumpy one.
Okay, so this
Okay,
one
got
is
it.
That one, yep.
Okay.
So tap, and like, relax. Good. So I want you to knock the habit of the tugs. Okay, it's probably a prong collar thing, right? Or just like,
I never use it.
not with him. We got it with our burner.
okay. So when we do remote collar, the remote is kind of like your tugs, but to direct them we need consistent pressure. So earlier, like she was tugging on the leash to get him to sit, and then I said keep it static, and then use the remote, and then he got it, right? So the leash is communicating, like kind of guiding him into what he's supposed to do, and the e-collar is actually making him do it. Okay. Otherwise, whenever you're walking with him, it should be a slack leash. You can always shorten it if you see something's going to happen. Like if there's a distraction coming, we step aside, we shorten it to give us more control, let it pass, give the slack, and then we walk again. Right? The reason why I want the slack is because if he has a loose leash here and he's here, it's because he's learning. He's getting the fact of, oh, this is where I'm supposed to be. Does that make sense? As opposed to restraining him and he's only there because you're restricting how much leash he has to move. Okay? Questions? So I'm gonna have you do the same thing. You're probably gonna have to do very little, okay, in terms of correcting, but it's gonna at least start getting you used to walking with the e-collar. Okay? A little bit more slack. That's good. And forward. Okay. And then just walk. Slow turn to your left. Yep, that's good. And then forward. Good. Just keep forward, keep forward. Hug to the left here. There you go. Good. Forward tap. Good. Too late. Okay. Good. Now slow, slower, stop. Pull up, tap, there you go, and relax. Tap, up, there you go, relax. Good, okay. So you see how you didn't have to do anything? That's because e-collar is super fast, okay? As long as you know the movements and you keep them consistent, like with the stopping and the lightly pulling up and the tapping, like when he got distracted, everything just transfers. Okay, because it's the same when she presses the button and it's the same when you press the button. Okay, so it should never be an argument with your dog. If you feel like you're arguing with Mack, it's because you're too low. Okay, and that's why we always, my suggestion in the beginning is when you start to go outside is always get his number first before starting your training. Let's say every day you do this and you always end up on 60, then eventually after 5 days, you know the number is just 60. And you just start off with that. Does that make sense? Questions? Okay. Cool. Slow turn. Turn. Tap. Tap forward. Good. Keep forward. Good. Slow turn. Forward. Keep forward. Yep. Tap forward. Good. Tap forward. Tap. Tap, 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 tap.
Tapping. I don't know that it's
There
doing
it is, right
anything.
there, right there. Okay, good. Slow turn. He's just frustrated because he sees this activity, so we're just using it as an example. There we go. Good. Keep forward, tap. Good, right there. Relax. Relax. Good. Forward, forward. There you go. Keep forward. Good. Slow turn. So we're going to try this. I'm going to have you to turn, and then we're going to turn again. Okay? We're going to turn, and you come this way. I'm going to have you turn at the end of the shade here, and I'm going to have you play with Diesel again, okay? When she starts coming this way. Good, slow turn. Tap forward. Tap forward, tap, tap. Tap, 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 keep forward, tap, tap, tap. So we're gonna have to bump it here, right? So you can see how the number's not doing anything. What's our number at?
66.
Tap, 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 forward, tap, good, forward, tap, good, turn, tap, tap, forward, tap, forward. Good. Relax. Good. Turn. Tap. 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 Forward. You're okay. So you see how he's not phased again, right?
Yeah, no.
Tap. Tap. Very slow. Forward tap. Okay. Hold on.
That one hurt him, I think.
Don't do multiple taps. Just only when I say the button, okay? So if I say tap, that's one tap. Keep forward. There you go. Keep forward. Good. Slow turn. Slow turn. Yep. Good. Forward. Left turn. Forward tap. Right there. Just keep forward. Good. 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 Forward tap. Turn inwards. There you go. That's fine. That's fine. Good. Now slow walk. Stop. Okay. Lightly pull up. Tap. Tap. Relax. Hold on. There you go. So, I'm going to pause with Diesel. Good. All right. So, here. Did you see the difference between 65 and 85? No?
He was still very distracted.
He was distracted, but you weren't having to do as much.
Right.
You did like, there was a handful of taps on 85, and then I said, slow it down. Then there was 2 to 3 more. Whereas before with 65, it was a lot, right? So here, when you're putting him under pressure, if you put him under too much pressure, you create more energy, okay? So, and when he jumped on you, you moved in, right? Right now, I keep it passive, okay? Because you're trying to bully a bully, okay? And then it creates some more conflict, right? We're trying to remove conflict out the picture, so he understands to take the discipline and settle as opposed to escalate. Because that's what the nipping is for. That's frustration, because we're putting rules on them. We're saying you can't play with that, you can't do anything with that, and we're going to raise the power. So if there's too much of that too quickly, we get outburst, right? That's why I said slow it down. But then here, when he got frustrated, because we're still pressing him, and then he started to express his frustration towards you, and you popped him, and then you bumped into him, you want to ignore that stuff right now. Okay, we're just keeping it completely passive, because I want to see, will he resolve this stuff on his own without us creating conflict? Okay, because at the end of the day, if there was to be a fight between you and your dog's probably going to win. He's got teeth. Unless you pull out a gun or something, the dog's probably going to win. So I don't want to escalate more. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Questions? So, and I put you, I made it more challenging for your mom. But we're going to try that one more time, okay? Slower.
Am I starting on 83 right now?
let's go down to a 75 again.
Can we give them water real quick or not?
Yeah.
Nick. Oh, Jesus. He just threw up. This one.
Oh, he drank water too fast. And that's why I had you stop in the shade, just to let him cool off as well. Because he could also be getting frustrated with the heat too. So, something to keep in mind. And we got
We
a
were up to 86,
83, yeah.
Need my finger?
Shorty just a little bit. There you go.
Okay, it's done.
Good.
I'm at 75.
Okay. So, we'll let her get set up. Okay, we're gonna try one more time.
Okay, so
Okay.
you want her to play with the ball again?
Yeah. Could I have you play again? Light play.
Huh?
Light play. And a little bit of slack. There you go. And just go ahead and start walking forward. Yeah. Keep forward. Good. One tap here. Good. Slow turn. Good. And forward.
Let me go. Keep up.
Okay. Slow turn. Yep. Forward. See how he's pointing to your left? Want to pull your right tap forward. Good. And relax. Good. Good. Slow turn. Good. Forward. Good. Slow turn.
Hang on to my jacket. I want to pull back all the time.
Give a tap here. Tap forward. Tap forward. Forward. Good. Right there. Slow turn. Slow turn. There you go. You're good. Forward. Good. And let's let it bring up to the shape. Good. And we can bring Diesel too. We'll have him rest over here. Bring your ball, buddy. All right. So, easier. Now, do you know why he came to your left over here? When you're walking this way? And Diesel was playing right there?
He wants Diesel.
Comes it. Opposite. He was giving space to Diesel. Because he had consequence earlier. Right? So when Diesel was here and you're walking this way, Mack came over here. Okay, now before it was just he didn't know what to do. But in that moment it was because he was trying to give space to Diesel because he didn't want to get promoted. Okay? So it's not a bad thing. It means he's starting to associate what's going on. When we had the higher intensity behavior with them playing, higher number. When we de-escalated the energy, lower number. See how that's kind of just balancing everything out? So it's really common sense once you understand how it works. And don't because since humans are logical, like let's say he's staring at a dog. And you would think, oh, he's just staring at a dog. Like it shouldn't need 90, right? It should only need 30. But you'll find some dogs need 90 just for staring at the dog. But logically, the human's like, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, well, he's a dog, right? So you always go appropriate to what the dog tells you. Because he'll tell you what's too much, what's too little, okay? I was also mentioning, for right now, we're going to ignore the jumping and the nipping. Okay, I'm going to have you just ignore that, keep moving, okay? If you end up like bumping him with your leg and stuff, like, I don't care. We're going to see is with just the training throughout the week, if that just resolves itself, okay? Because this is his first time of getting formal discipline. Okay, so he's gonna go against it a bit. Not uncommon. So if we see it continues to be an issue, next class we're gonna learn a new technique that's gonna help fix that problem. Okay? But I give him a week to just absorb everything and learn it. Okay? Questions? So your homework is just this. Now when you walk back, what I suggest is you go out, give him a potty break, let him do his business, and then do your walk.
We left doing on walks, so it's okay.
Oh, okay.
Put him in the yard.
Yeah, so put him in the yard, then do your walk. If you're going to give him a break to rest during the walk, you're simply going to walk with him up to, like if this was grass, slow to a stop. Mack is here. Lightly pull up, tap, get the sit. Wait a moment, break, and then bring him to the grass. Okay? Break means his job is done. He can rest, roll on the ground, lay down, drink some water, all that stuff.
Okay.
When you're walking, your job to keep him here. So every time he pulls ahead, you want to turn. If he's walking next to you, no need to do anything. You can just keep going straight. If you need to change directions, just to change directions, slowly. Okay, and then you can pick up your speed again once you complete it. Dogs learn better in smaller chunks. So if you do 3 20-minute walks, that would be best. If all you have is 1 solid hour, you can do that as well. Okay, there's no such thing as too much, because the walking alleviates stress. Okay, so he's not going to get overloaded and not want to walk anymore. But he processes better if you do it in smaller pieces. Okay.
Well, I don't mind taking more walks though.
Yeah, I mean, this is like 1,000% better.
Good.
Just this one time.
This starts the moment you come out. Okay. So you come out off your driveway or whatever, and then you just start your walk. Boom. Right there. That's where he's supposed to be. Okay. If you come out and then like let him dilly-dally for like 10 minutes, whatever, at the beginning before you make him do it, it's gonna become a habit. Okay. When it comes to the remotes, don't use it for anything that we have not covered. Okay? Hold off on that. Okay?
Well, I was using it on his walks, but when I was walking him, I was only like doing the vibrate, like pager.
Sure.
And then it got his attention and he stopped pulling.
Sure.
But this is better.
He's a little nutty in
He
my
was still
yard
being-
with my neighbor.
Yeah, we
Sure.
zap him with the bark.
He's like, well, not just the barking, he's jumping.
Alright, so let's do this then.
Yeah.
You can do it in an enclosed area in the yard and stuff. Refrain from in the house.
No,
Refrain from if he's off leash. Okay? So like let's say you drop the leash to let him wander, and then he starts eating goose poop. Don't remote him. Because I don't want you to accidentally scare him to run away. Because that can happen. That's the main reason why I tell people avoid it until we get there. But if he's in the yard, I'm not worried about him.
In the yard, we really just need to put that on. I show him the remote and he just...
And you don't want to do that either. Because you don't want him to recognize, right? Because you want him to just essentially learn not to do the behavior, right? Right now, it's like you're threatening him. I don't threaten, I just correct, right? So like, I don't ease dogs into things. These are the rules and the consequences. No warnings. And this way I don't have to worry about having the remote on hand to show him in order to get him to stop. Does that make sense? Okay. So I don't mind if you do it in an enclosed area. The reason why I'm saying that in the home is because I don't want anything to
He listens in the house.
antagonize anything. Okay. The other possibility with the nipping, I mean, it's most likely frustration, but like they're like taught here. He was essentially taught to do so as well, right? Like if someone gets in an argument or something.
Not
He
him, that's
wasn't.
this one.
No,
that one.
either one of them were taught to do
He
that.
taught this one.
I think we just assumed it was a general instinct to protect the family. Has he done it?
He follows what he does. So if we tell Diesel get him, or Diesel, get him,
No, hey,
he like perks up and starts looking around his ears, and then that one follows.
Okay. Well, whenever you escalate a dog, you want them also to be able to de-escalate.
See, this one is good. That one doesn't de-escalate. He's better in the house. I promise.
he's really good in those.
We must have different definitions of good, because he seemed like a whiny little brat earlier.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he
I'm
is.
saying like if we're playing with him in the house like super rough, and we just like
And we say
sit him
enough,
down and we tell him
he will
enough,
sit and stop.
he sits and he stops. But like when he's out in public, it's the same thing as that one. He whines, wants to go everywhere.
Yeah.
So they don't listen outside of the house.
He's good in context.
Yes.
Besides, yeah. Which at the end of the day, I don't care. But I'm very strict. So,
It's fine. We need that.
questions?
So basically just don't use the collar.
Excuse me?
Just don't use the collar unless we're on walks for now.
For now, I don't care the other stuff we've been doing. Like again, if it's enclosed, I don't mind. I just don't want anything because I had one person like let the dog off leash and remoted them because the dog didn't come back and the dog took off. And he was like, and he came back complaining. I'm like, well, we hadn't even taught recall yet.
you know, and I was like, that's not my fault, that's your fault. And then like another person used it, and then it pushed the dog into a more aggressive state because they didn't know how to do it correctly. So those are things I'm trying to prevent, avoid. Okay. But otherwise, you took to the collar well. Remember, when you start your walks, you're going to each day or each time, you're going to start from 10-15, work your way up, and you saw you're looking for an exaggerated response, which could be anything as simple as this to this.
So right now we're still playing with numbers?
Yes, until you find consistency.
Okay.
So if every time you practice with him, you always go to 60, after like 5 days, I think it's safe to assume his number is about 60. Okay? But it's possible that the number may go down, the more acclimated he gets to the collar, he becomes more sensitive, because now he's becoming more tuned in. Because he's not meant to have his neck contracted. This is something that we've created. So once he understands, like, oh crap, or associates, like, this isn't going away, it's actually communicating something, dogs become more in tune, which therefore leads to a lower number. But some dogs stay static, or some dogs actually go higher. So that's what you're trying to figure out, is what kind of dog is that. Okay? Other questions? So yeah, we're cutting this one a half hour short.
Yeah, that's fine.
So for the next one, I'll send you an email.
Well, next week, Maria said you were booked right after.
Oh, sure. I'll see if there's time before. I don't know what next week looks like. I just wake up and then look.
So when, in the meantime, when we are walking Mack, you want me to use a prong on him? Should we stay behind him maybe so he doesn't
It'll make
see?
your life easier if he's behind.
Right.
Because if he's ahead, he's going to want to forge for sure. If you want to use
Or,
that.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Put him ahead. Wait, how did I say that?
These will stay
Put him behind.
Teach him not to pull and go after you.
Yeah, you can do that too, right? But I would focus on first getting this solid.
Got it.
Get him that more.
And then add that in. But yes, that is something that, like when I work with couples, like if one person is in front, the dog will forge.
Okay.
So then it gives them something to work on. Because dogs naturally want to be with whoever's at the front. Okay? But I would give yourself practice first, so that you're very familiar with Mack, and then of course the remote and stuff. And then you start to push for other things. Other questions? If next week is booked, I'll note to Maria. And then you can just worry about bringing Mack then. And then you can always add the extra half hour to any of the other classes.
Okay.
To.
Because I know on the 27th she has me also for the extra.
We'll figure it out.
Okay. Yeah. I'll talk to her this week. Okay. But next week it wouldn't matter if he kicked in next week or the third week, because his is going to be relatively simple. He's going to be the most work. Okay. Anything else?
I just feel like we're not doing good with them at home.
Oh, well, we'll get there.
Well, we weren't, because in the beginning of your conversation, you were like, oh, you feel bad, and then you let him do what he wants. That's kind of what we were doing.
Yeah.
So,
Everybody does that.
where, Dad and Nick want to be strict, we're like, oh, poor thing.
They want to hit.
We can't be like that anymore.
They want to what?
Hit him.
Oh, well, dogs bite each other. Like, as long, like hitting, like there's a whole conversation behind that. If the dog learns the lesson and stops the behavior, I'm like, whatever, right? Like, because dogs bite each other. But it has to be like, I don't think spanking, in my opinion, like I've had plenty of clients spank their dogs, and the dogs still do the behaviors. So like Jesse will like, you hit my dog, I spanked them. I'm like, well, dogs don't spank each other, they bite each other. So you have to like replicate that kind of aversion in order to behave. So that I'm against. If the dog's not learning anything, then clearly it's not working. But physical consequences for dogs, that's how they correct each other. The other thing I'm against is just energy. Yeah, give a tap here.
Oh, yeah, no.
And
What
then-
is he doing wrong?
He was looking at
yeah,
the...
pull towards the front. There we go. See how that tap got his attention now? That's what it should look like when you have the right number. It should be very, very,
So
fairly
we don't
simple.
want him staring off the whole...
Well, staring off ends up leading into jumping
He was
in.
looking
And then like yelling and shouting and like over the top energy. Like that creates more issues. Okay.
So like the whole the net. Well, my dad came in the house yesterday. And my dad grabs him here by his neck. Is that I don't know? Better
Well, that's how the mom picks
communicating,
him up,
or- Well, I know, but I'm just saying
Well, does it
Yeah,
teach
versus-
anything? In my opinion, no.
No, he's afraid of them.
Your husband?
Yes.
Yeah, it's probably because of his presence. Yeah. That's a conversation
Yeah,
for
that's
later
another
day.
conversation.
But we'll get there, you know, because typically with people, they get frustrated because they can't get the response, so then they can overcompensate, right? But then when you have a tool like this that makes it very simple, or other tools that make it very simple, frustration goes out the window. Because now you have something that's effective, that you don't need to be over the top in order to get the point across. Okay? I like to call it. Anything else? Excellent. So you have your homework for the week. Okay? If you're working with him and you have to stop and you can't, like maybe you go to work or something, you can't reinforce the heel, just say break and then let him do whatever. So it doesn't matter if you say break and he pulls you home because you said break. You made it very clear that you're not working anymore. Okay? But if you are training and then you decide like and just let him go with no clear division, that's what undoes your training. Because then he thinks like at some point mom will just not care anymore and let me do whatever I want.
So I told you I was using it with him on walks already. When I go in the yard with him after, because like I told you, he doesn't do anything on walks, we just let him in the backyard afterwards. It's like I have to take the collar off for him so he can go to the bathroom because he won't leave.
Sure, he's so cautious. Yeah, that's fine. It's okay. It's normal in the beginning, because he's trying to not make mistakes to. Yeah, but once he understands or associates what he's supposed to do, it'll go well. Okay. So if you have your homework for the week, if anything pops up, let us know, and then Maria will get in contact with you, or you can get in contact with her about next class. If we can't put you on, not a big deal. We'll add it to you next class. Okay. Awesome. Good job, guys. Very good job.
Thank you very much.